May I call upon Dr. Ashok Haldia, former Secretary of Institute of Chartered Accountants, to share his thoughts on the state of audit in regards to quality execution. Sir, please. My bad. Brinda would be acknowledging and serving the.
Thank you, Jyoti. Thank you, Mr. Balaji, for inviting me. And together with Mr. Harinderjit Singh, who has been very well known in the audit profession for decades. I am a former secretary of ICI. Former is always a former. I used to see the audit profession outside from inside. Now I am outside the ICI. So I try to see inside from outside. And that possibly gives me a 360-degree view of what the audit and accounting profession is and where it is heading towards. I had the pleasure of participation in all the international forums of accounting and auditing. And I had a strong view on the accounting and auditing profession. I'm sure these are not being to media is not here. Okay, yeah. I had a strong view where the auditing accounting profession was heading to, and even when it is heading towards. And I shared that with no hesitation, nationally and internationally. We have to accept, since I have a very learned colleague, Mr. Indrajit Singh, who have to add on, and possibly he's a better person to talk on the matter. We have to look at the reality, what is writing on the walls, and that we must look at not from what is forced upon us, because we are professionals. We should look at what is expected from us and how best we should respond to. If we are not able to respond to, then bridge that communication gap between the stakeholders and between the audit professions. Audit is a very onerous profession. It's a daredevil's job. And we must appreciate and understand this. There has been, we cannot go with a psychology or mindset at the last what would happen. Some penalties, some fine, some bar from the ICI to some member for some time, so what? That is the root cause of the problem. The world is changing very fast. The technology is taking over us. There is no time left to change over for conventional auditing and accounting. When I'm saying the conventional, not in the sense accounting and auditing that we read time and again in the past, but I'm saying even in the recent past. And the technology would take over us. The technology, artificial intelligence, it is there. It is going to be a reality in next 3 to 5 years. The audit would become, accounting would become online or live, possibly daily reporting and daily auditing. Many of us fear that the accountant and auditor's job might become irrelevant unless they are able to cope with and respond to the challenges. So the technology is first thing that we must respond. And Balaji's initiative in that perspective is very important. I have seen him, his commitment, his simplicity, his determination, and his background implies his possible capabilities in the audit. I had occasion to see the demo. I made some suggestions to him, and hopefully those suggestions he would have taken care of. It's a beginning, and I'm sure he's going to launch many products one after the another, because technology is changing faster. What is today, tomorrow, early tomorrow, it might get irrelevant, and therefore capping, and that's the vast challenge that he has to face with. And today I was happy to note the kind and the wide horizon of the professionals that he has in his team and all his own effort. I was not aware of. I thought it's a Balaji and solo Balaji. So that's a good Mr. Balaji. He faced the challenges, and he said that he has shown to some of the firms it is important for him to meet the expectations of the audit firms. I'm sure many of the audit firms might be reluctant to cope with. They might be looking with a diluted version of the software to cope with the practicality or the limitations of the firms and the professionals. But that's the microscopic view that possibly one should avoid. That would mean the compromise. Audit, as I said, audit is very onerous. How we need to respond, I'll come little later, but then I was talking about the changes those are taking over. The financial reporting today is the key. Tomorrow it's going to be, if not secondary, but there are going to be many other things. ESG reporting, climate accounting, climate reporting, and many other aspects of the corporate functioning would become equally important, rather more important, both in terms of returns, rewards, and the requirements than the financial audits. So are we ready to cope with that before some other professions or some other firms or even some other technology firms take overs? So that's the constant challenge, and I believe I shared my thoughts with Balaji, and I'm sure that would form part of his strategies and is an action plan. Now friends, it's all a question of mindset. Nothing but the mindset. Now, we were just talking that the changes, possibly NFRA would determine the pace of changes in the audit firms. That possibly is not the right approach. And I'm sure that's going to be. Every day I receive some messages from NAFRA, some cases decided, and so much punishment. Every day I find some partner, some firm action against those. Right, that is the warning bell, but that is a professional, that's not possibly right thing. That warning bell may only orient you to adopt physically, systematically, but not through the mindset. Quality comes from the mind. If you have the quality mindset, that nothing but the quality, ultimately it is the quality that would sustain, that would survive, that would flourish. No effort of NAFRA, I've shared with those who matters, or no efforts of ICAI or the audit firm would succeed. Quality has its own price. But if you have the mindset, the determination automatically comes. The outlook automatically changes, and what needs to be done automatically comes forward. If you say, I will not compromise with the quality, what may come, you would see what you need to do. And an audit firm needs to invest 50 to 60% in the technology and its human resources and infrastructure. Do we do that? Might wonder that we do not get the fees. There could be questions which profession has been facing. Is there a fees? Now, if the fees is going to determine the quality, then the fate would determine your fate as well. And believe me, market values the quality and market price the quality appropriately. The only thing is that you need to have it and you need to demonstrate it to the world at large. Why do I know certain professionals by name? Not because the firm they come from, but because the quality or the determination that they have shown. I possibly not much interaction in the past with Balaji, but when he interacted me, I could see the determination into him. And I said, yes, possibly I can join him, or I can be in a way, if I can, little provide him my inputs. So that mindset approach is very important. Now quality has many prices. Despite the quality, you might be hanged by NFRA, NFRA, and you say what should those who do not value for the quality, they survive, they flourish, and we value for the quality. What happened? There is a case against us in NFRA because audit is a very onerous. Anybody and can any time for any year, current or past, can approach the authorities and complain against you for good reason, for bad reason. And you may be liable, and ultimately you might feel what that. And you can never be perfect. I remember, I'll take a couple of minutes. One of the very leading chartered accountant in the country told me, look, the quality of audit that we do, and possibly there would be no error. Immediately I said, sir, you give me your two audited accounts, financial report statements, and show it to me. Within 1 hour, if I do not come out with problems in the financial statements, then I'm prepared to face the consequences. So that is the onerous job that auditor does, but that's the job the society expects. That's the job that the society values. So I'll not take much of the time. I would simply say that we need to be quality conscious. Our mindset has to change. We need to focus on our human resources. Who are doing the audit? Are we as a partner? I'm not a partner, but then are those who are as a partner or manager devoting sufficient time, leaving it to article clerks? Do the article clerks have the sufficient orientation, knowledge, the risk of the business, assessment, how to assess the risk? Do they interact with the top level management within the organization? Do have the perspective of the positioning of that enterprise in the economy, in the industry, in the technology? Do they have the enough IT systems, the IT security? How do you find a product if it is prepared on Excel sheets, any software, or where the back-end entry is allowed, where the audit trail or the editing trail in the transaction is not ensured? It may not be convenient, comfortable, but then how does someone who look at assess your technical softwares can satisfy or can convince himself with the quality? I remember a case when I was in the appellate tribunal, where I will not name those cases and those things, where someone very senior in the management used to change the back datas in the data room of this on the software, through the software, and nobody in the organization would know what has been done. Now, how can you as an auditor afford to? You cannot say that, well, that was the IT system that was given to us, or that was the audit system that they employed. So what I will to say, mindset is very important. Once you change the mindsets, or once all of us change our mindset in whatever we do, the things will automatically find place. So I'll not take much of the time. Thank you very much.